Good morning. My name is Jack Draper, Mayor of the City of Anniston, and I'm proud that y'all joined us this morning, both online and in person. I'm joined today by Ann Welch, the Chairman of the Planning Commission, and by Phillip Walker, Walker Collaborative out of Nashville, Tennessee. And we're pleased to talk to you this morning about our comprehensive plan. The citizens of Anniston have today begun in earnest the process of crafting, adopting, and then implementing a comprehensive plan. It will help us decide what we want our city to look like 20 years from now. It will help us with economic development. It will help us with quality of life. It will help us determine and target what industries we ought to, again, recruit and target. This is an incredibly important economic development tool. But again, it's a real blueprint for what we want the city to look like. Fortunately, the city has a number of plans already. Those plans can and will be incorporated within this plan as we move forward. A lot of good information was developed during the course of forming those plans and actually implementing those plans, because a lot has already been implemented, and we can talk about that all the more as we go through the process of crafting, adopting, and implementing this comprehensive plan. So with that, I'm proud right now to introduce you to Phillip Walker of the Walker Collaborative. This is a very well-regarded firm out of Nashville, Tennessee. I want you to know that not only did a subcommittee of the Planning Commission unanimously pick Walker Collaborative, but the entire Planning Commission unanimously picked Walker Collaborative, as did the City Council. So we're pleased to be joined in partnership with Phillip Walker. Phillip,
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. We're excited to get started on the project. And I always remind people it's called a comprehensive plan because it's indeed comprehensive in nature, which is why you really need a multidisciplinary team to put the plan together. So let me just kind of describe the other planning team members. We've got Common Ground Urban Design Plus Planning, and they focus on urban design issues, land planning, and so forth. We've got Skipper Consulting based in Birmingham, and they've done a lot of work in this area and specifically in Anniston over the years. And they focus on transportation planning and all issues mobility, whether that's motorized transportation or other modes. And then last but not least, we have Randy Gross with Randall Gross Development Economics. And he looks at all the market issues and economic issues. So that's a team. Of course, that's a consultant team. But the team, the plan ultimately is going to be the community's plan. The technicians, the consultant team, we're simply the vehicle to get you to the plan for your community. So we're excited to be able to do that. It's a 5-step process, essentially. The first one being we'll come here for 3 days, the full team, and do a lot of input gathering from the public, do a lot of research, kind of be out in the field, understand the community more. The second phase will be kind of a deeper dive with public input. We'll do a public input opinion survey that'll be online. We'll also do a series of focus group meetings, and then our economist will really start to dig into looking at the different sectors: retail and commercial, office, housing, industrial, all those different sectors of the real estate market, and start to understand the dynamics there, and just general economic development needs. Then the third step is the charrette, and I like to describe a charrette as an intensive multi-day brainstorming session that engages the community in a real hands-on manner that ends up with the key ideas for a plan. And so on the front end of that 5-day process, we'll have a big public workshop where we essentially deputize citizens to be planners for the night, and they kind of take their stab at planning ideas. Then we incorporate those into the concept plan, which we'll present on the final night of that 5-day charrette. Then we'll get public feedback, go away, put the draft plan together, let the public review that, come back, present it, get yet another layer of public feedback on that, and revise it again. And there's a strong emphasis on implementation. We want this to be a plan that really is put to work, and so there's a lot of focus on time frames and how you achieve the different recommendations. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Excellent. Okay, we now have a little bit of time for some questions. Mayor, if you'd like to step in right here, and we will take any questions that we have.
Well, this may cover something y'all have addressed already, but I mean, if you had to just explain it to a layman in a sentence, what this is, what you're doing, how would you describe it? Very simply describe it.
I would say it's a blueprint for the future growth of your community. So it'll kind of help shape future growth, but it's not just a matter of reacting to private investment, but also the proactive measures that the city and other partners will take in moving the community forward.
What I hear there is planning for growth coming in. We've, in the past, if the census numbers are correct, have been shrinking in recent years. How does planning differ when you're working in a city that's been shrinking?
Well, what it means is you need to put an emphasis on economic development, and that's why we've got our economists on the team to come up with strategies that can get more people here in the community. Because I think looking around, you need more bodies here, more people spending money, people with jobs, and so that'll be an objective of the plan.
And I think in addition, we really need to work on keeping our citizens here. We need to do a better job of creating a city where young people will want to stay. And then as a corollary to that, young people will want to come in. And I very much look forward to that being part of the process.
When's the first sort of interaction that the average Annistonian will have with this? When's the first time they'll hear from y'all and you asking them to do something?
Right, and so we still have to schedule the first trip. My guess is it'll be within the next month and a half, something like that. Part of that trip is a public kickoff meeting, and so we can't give you a date yet, but that would be the first real opportunity for people to be engaged.
Tell me some other cities where you've done this and some of the results you've had.
Yeah, so I'm finishing up 2 citywide comp plans right now, Hernando, Mississippi, and Pikeville, Kentucky. Earlier ones, Lookout Mountain, Georgia. Getting ready to start one where actually I'm a sub-consultant on this one in Fairhope, Alabama. So those are, and it's very different from doing, I also do a lot of special area plans like downtown master plans, neighborhoods. But this is, again, it's more comprehensive and geographically. You're looking at the whole community, including the periphery of the community. How does it expand in the future if it needs to expand, and how you go about that. And I'll also mention that as far as having success with implementing plans, a couple of things that are important. One, transparency, which the city is extremely committed to having a very transparent process. That helps because it helps build the confidence that people have in the whole process. And then also just the amount of public engagement, the number of people who are involved, and can hopefully at the end of the day see the thumbprint somewhere on the plan. Those are some of the important ingredients for having a successful plan that's actually implemented. And that doesn't mean every little step is going to be implemented. When you look at any plan, I've never seen a plan that was completely implemented. I've never seen a plan where none of it was implemented. It really is all a matter of kind of degrees. But you all have a pretty good history of implementing pieces of your plan, so that's good.
I take it we'll have enough people immunized in time for a charrette that we'll be able to do this in person. Is that what y'all
Well, we're hoping so. I think we will be able to do it in person because the one thing after that initial trip, our economist has to do all the market research, and that'll take a couple of months. So I'm guessing we'll be in good shape. If not, we've managed to figure out other ways. We did this recently in Northwest Pennsylvania where we did the same process I explained, but we did it with Zoom, and we did the breakout groups you can do in Zoom, and then you come back together. So you can adapt it for the COVID age, but I think we'll be in pretty good shape by the time the charrette comes around.
What are your impressions of the city so far and what it might need?
Yeah, well, I think there's tremendous potential. You look at the downtown. There's a lot of potential for revitalization. You've got great architecture. As planners like to say, great bones. I mean, you've got a nice walkable scale for your downtown and great architecture to build on. Beautiful natural resources close by. You've got a great location. Just look at a map, right between Atlanta and Birmingham. So I think, and you've got, you know, resources like JCU up the road. So I think, you know, there's a lot of great potential that we can do.
Any more questions? Okay, that concludes our press conference. Thank you all.
Thank you.